We are back on Inside Politics. Our guest today is John Cooper. He's a Metro Councilman at large. He's also a candidate for mayor. Councilman, you're getting in the race by your own admission kind of late. You're behind in organization, staff, particularly in fundraising. How do you make that up? Are you going to have to make up a lot of the money out of your own pocket? You have a personal fortune that you can use to do this. Fortune.
I'm sure I'll be my largest contributor. The race is about message. The race is about people who are a little bit uncomfortable about their place in the new Nashville, deciding that that voice needs to be heard and represented.
Have you set out a dollar amount that you have to get out of your pocket to do that? And are you putting two budgets together, one for the August 1st election, and then if you're in the runoff, if there is a runoff, what you'd have to spend for that later in September?
There's only one race, which is August 1st. And if the voters decide to send two candidates on, then you go on to the next race.
One other thing that Mayor Briley seems to be ready to bring up in his new budget is privatizing the parking system, the city's parking meters across town.
Right.
There's a $30 million one-time fee being paid for that for whoever takes it over. Is this a good idea?
Well, I'm very skeptical. And again, it's one of the reasons about running. One is one-time sales is no way to balance an operating budget. Two, are we really competent enough to evaluate and have the best deal for the citizens of Metro? And then locking us into a 30-year arrangement. The first time it was bid out, the second bidder ended up saying, my gosh, Metro, we're going to protest this. Metro's left $75 million on the table. Fortunately, that was rebid. It wasn't protested. So it gets back to this competence issue. If we're going to be doing one-time sales, how competently are we doing it? Most of our property that we've been selling in the last year has been on e-bid. Many of the auctions have been failed.
You can't sell property to balance the budget anymore.
Well, going forward, but up to this period of time, we've been doing it and not doing it that expertly. And you worry that the parking meters fall under the same category of we're desperate to raise money and we'll accept deals that probably shouldn't be considered in the fullness of time. So it's negotiating deals, it's negotiating better deals, it's negotiating deals with the people in mind.
You have two other opponents that aren't an incumbent. Is this race really kind of come down to why you're the best alternative of those three? Is it a race between you and John Ray Clemens and Carol Swain?
It's a race with the four, and I think everybody has a different vision for Nashville, and this is why this election is important to give actual choice and conversation.
Carol Swain said if you had run, she might not have run. And she said before she got in the race that if you were running, she probably would not run. Are you going to ask her about whether she needs to continue to run?
Well, she is her own person, and she has a lot of her message is not my message. I think she likes to spend time about fiscal responsibility, which I appreciate, but she's a very different candidate with a different appeal, and this is why you have elections, in order to provide choice for voters.
Another expensive part that Metro government, as it goes forward, is what to do about our traffic and transit woes. You were not in favor of the way the transit plan that was defeated last May was going to go forward. So what is your plan to deal with that? Another
reason to run. We can't wait 5 years for a plan. I endorsed principles yesterday from a community transportation organization. You've got to get back to picking the low-hanging fruit and invest in transportation right away. It shouldn't be, you can either have massive trains and a tunnel or nothing. There are a lot of steps in between. You can't go from making a small investment in the bus system to then having no ideas about transportation. Safety, community first, time to work needs to be our metric. It shouldn't necessarily be just something that benefits downtown. The last transit plan, which the voters defeated, showed a lot of why people are concerned about Metro and have trust issues with Metro, that the plan didn't seem to include them.
What's the number one thing, if you're elected mayor, you'll do to restore that trust? Name the first thing you'll do when you get in office to restore that trust that you think the voters have lost in
Well, this is a simple thing. I want to get a whole lot of pictures of teachers and put them up in the mayor's office. Just their faces, just their portraits, so that everybody that comes in the mayor's office who wants something sees the pictures of the teachers who are going to be first in line for getting the marginal incremental dollar that we can find in Metro.
Did the school board make the right decision in deciding to part ways with Sean Joseph, and what role do you see as mayor that you'd play in selecting the new director?
Well, We need a new era of cooperation, of getting along, of shared values, and of funding of schools. The state has set up a system where the school board runs the school system. Now, for the time being, then we need to be supportive of that system. We need to be supportive of the interim superintendent, and we need to move the conversation along.
If the legislature goes along and Governor Lee signs it, are you okay about vouchers coming into Metro, the system, and more charter schools?
Well, one, we don't have anything to do with the vouchers. I am not for vouchers, of course. I think that's the wrong move. And also on charters. Charters are public school students too, and we need to support both traditional and charter schools.
Councilman, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
suspect
Pat.
we'll have you back again before August 1st.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you for joining us on Inside Politics. Hope you'll be back here again for a future show. If you can't get enough politics in the meantime, go to the News Channel 5 website. You'll find my Capitol View commentary there. There's new commentary posted every Friday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here next time. Goodbye.